Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Oh my god, girl, I have been trying to record this for the past like 5 times. I don't know what is going on with my mic. It's starting to make like a staticky noise and it's really throwing me off and I have to keep doing myself. So hopefully this time is a-okay. But speaking of this build that we are going to be doing today, we are making a city neon inspired build. Now I did post on my community asking you guys what I should build because your girl was going through another block and I just had no idea what to build. I had a lot of things in mind. I wanted to build Hogwarts, but please don't kill me. I haven't really finished watching any of the Harry Potter movies. I watched like 1, 2, and 3, okay? At least I can say that, but I haven't watched all of it. And the reason for that is because when I was younger, I saw that my sister really loved Harry Potter. She watches it all the time, and she watches it now all the time. Like, I swear to God, every time she goes to bed, when I'm over at my mom's, because I don't live there anymore, but when my sister and I are there, I always hear Harry Potter just going and playing in her room, and she watches it all the time, so she is obsessed with it. And obviously, as a young sibling, I didn't want to watch it because she loved it so much. So nowadays, I just haven't watched it, and I really think I would. I did like the whole house thing, found out everything. Like I asked my sister, I was like, Brittany, can we please just like watch the Harry Potter films and just like go through them? And obviously she was like, yes, thank you. I was waiting for this day for you to ask me, but it only happened until now. But I found out I'm a Slytherin, and I definitely didn't think that at first, but now I can kind of see it. And when I tell my friends, they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, it's just, I'm a Slytherin. What house are you in? What, if you guys have taken the test, what are you? I would love to know. But as I was saying, I just don't really know much about like the castle, Hogwarts, like anything like that. So I feel like I would be kind of like a fraud if I made it and I just didn't know what I was building, right? So I don't know. I feel like I would like to because there is like a huge game out right now, but I hear a lot of controversy about it. So I'm not entirely educated about it, but if you guys want to let me know what the whole ideal thing is, you can let me know. I'll probably look it up, but I don't have the money to buy it, and I'm saving my money for Sims games, like especially the expansion pack that is going to be coming out, and I'm just so freaking excited. But I wanted to build a family home, which I already did, but I just wanted to build something like on my own accord, kind of, you know? So I didn't want to do anything Hogwarts. I didn't want to do anything that related to like a family. I just wanted something kind of fun. So and something that I'm good at doing. So I asked you guys if you guys wanted to see me build a fantasy build or a neon city. Now 120 votes were calculated into this guy, and 46% of you guys wanted a fantasy build and 54% of you wanted to see a neon city. So because neon city won and I was super excited about it, I just went right into it. Obviously on a 64 by 64 lot, girl. Of course, that is what I'm going to be doing. I always do a 64 by 64. If you guys are new, hi, how are you? My name is Jamie. I also am known as Simspiration here on YouTube, and I love to build on really big lots. And obviously it is painful, but it's very fun, and I feel like I can do a lot more, even though I know having shorter builds could be a lot more practical. I just really like going all out, and I think doing cities are a lot of fun because there's so many things that you can try and put together and make things that look real and not real, and just kind of play around with colors because I'm obsessed. And if you love colors, you would love my Tokyo city build that I did a couple months back, and it is so freaking pretty and I love it so much. So if you are into that, if you like city, Japan, Tokyo, anything like that, girl, I will have that linked in the description down below because I love it. And of course, it will be on the gallery. And this is also on the gallery as well. So if you do want to check that out, I will have that also in the description. Just my name down below. I haven't changed it. It's still just my regular name, but I will definitely change it at some point. I'm just not sure because I have to like change my whole end card and stuff. And girl, nobody got time for that, but I know I had to, so I will. But yeah, this will already be on the gallery, so if you want to follow me there, I do post a lot of my things a lot more early than I do on YouTube, so it's kind of like a little sneak peek, a little early access. I don't have a Patreon yet, so this is kind of like a Patreon where you kind of see what I'm doing a lot earlier, so if that does tickle your fancy, I will have that in the description down below. But girl, I don't usually talk about my builds that much and usually talk about stories. And I got a story. Okay, so for all of you guys who don't know or do know, I work in retail currently. Hopefully one day that won't be the case and I can have this as my full-time job, but for now, retail is what I got, girl. And unfortunately, and kind of fortunate, I guess, I have to deal with a lot of people and a lot of different people. And there was this lady, okay, there was this lady that came into the store the other day. And she looked like she wasn't there. And I don't mean in like the mentalish kind of way. I'm talking about like she took some things and she just wasn't all there. And she walks into the store and her hair is kind of like streaky red, but it's not dyed like there's supposed to be purposefully like streaks in her hair, and her hands were all red. So she walks in, and this girl had so many like bags in her hand, and she just wasn't wearing a whole lot. Like I feel like it wasn't appropriate, but like, who am I to say? But she walks in and her hair, like I said, is really red and her hands are full of red. So it looked like she just like put dye on her hands, and then she kind of just like rubbed it through her hair because she kept rubbing her hands, okay? And you're like, okay, Jamie, well, she probably just like dyed her hair and it just didn't work. Okay, I get that for sure. Yeah, she's got like some red on her face. We've all been there. We all try, or we will at some point. I get it, girl. I get it. The thing that's concerning is that she walked around the store and she started like, she didn't say anything. She was just kind of walking around, and me and my coworker looked at each other and we were like, okay, like maybe we'll just keep an eye on this lady and just, ask her if she needs anything or whatever. And we did that, and she was like, oh no, I'm fine, don't worry about me, girls, and blah 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 blah. And we're like, okay, but we're like, we're gonna keep an eye on this lady. And so she starts like walking around, and I notice her like sniffing everything, and she's just constantly rubbing her hands. And I don't know if she's just trying to get the dye off her hands, or she likes the way it feels. I don't know what the heck was going on. But she started grabbing the perfume, right? And she like looked at it. She took the bottle thing, like she took the Try Me tester, and she just like sprays it on her hand. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a funny spot to spray it, but I mean, all the power to you. Like, if you want to smell some stuff, then go ahead. And so she starts doing it, and she's spraying like a lot in her hands, and I was like, okay, like, I think that's enough for your hand, but obviously we didn't say anything. We were just kind of watching because she was the only one in the store. And she starts like, smelling it, whatever. Then she starts rubbing her hand together. Okay, she starts rubbing them together. And then right after she starts doing that, she starts putting her hands in her hair and starts rubbing her head. And she just keeps doing that like the entire time. And she doesn't just grab like one scent, she does it to a whole bunch of different scents all the way through the story. Like she was in there for a good like 20 minutes, girl. Okay, like she was in there for a hot minute, and she was just going through every single scent that we had. And me and my coworker were starting to be like, should we say something? Like what is going on? Like this lady is like bathing in our perfume. So I go over to her and I'm like, oh, you like the smells? And she's like, oh yeah, I love the smells. It's so good. And God, I just want to wear it. And in my head, I was like, oh, clearly, so you don't say. So she starts walking around a little bit and I just like walk away, whatever, let her do her thing. Cause she's not causing like any trouble. So like we can't really do anything. And she starts, going over to like more of the wash section, so like the body stuff, whatever. And she goes over to like the hair and body wash, okay? And she was smelling everything or whatever, and I could only see like kind of like her back because I wasn't obviously in front of her and she was just like in front of the shelf, and I just see her kind of like bob up and down for like, I don't know, like four times. And then she just like started rubbing her hair and then leaving. And I was like, is there perfume over there? Like, what was she doing? And then I look over at my coworker and she goes, what the heck just happened? And she didn't say heck. That was just like a placeholder, whatever, right? Your mind can fill in the blanks, girl. I'm not going to say it because I don't swear either. But anyway, so she goes over and she was just like, what the heck just happened? And I said, what did she do? And she goes and she says she went over to the hair and body wash, grabbed like the tester, dunked a bunch of like shampoo stuff in her hand, and then started rubbing it through her hair and then left. And I was like, what on earth did, oh my God. And it's just, and that's not even like the weird part, because like it is weird, but like that's not all that always happens in her story. Like there is just so many people, and I mean, it's great for story time, don't get me wrong, but like, girl, when it happens, it is so strange and it is so weird, and I don't even know how to explain it, and you can't really do anything unless they're causing harm, and one day, like there was not that long ago too, I was in the store just working, and this man walks in and he was just like looking for some product, and he was asking like, is it vegan friendly, is it this, is it that, is there plastic? And I'm like, no, like everything's vegan, we don't put plastic, like everything's all community fair trade things, like it's really nice and natural. And he was like, he started ranting about like cruelty things, and I'm like, yeah, totally, for sure, like I get it 100%. And then like after that conversation happened, he like looks at me and then he points at my mask because I wear a mask, and he's like, you know what we call that? We call that a muzzle. And I was like, and I'm like the only one in the store who wears a mask, just because my family is very susceptible. So I don't like getting them sick anyway, because they have like respiratory issues. So it's not even just like 100% for COVID. It's just like getting sick wise and just the flu in general. And the man is just like, yeah, you know what we call that? A muzzle. And in my head, I was like, boy, I'm like, I just woke up like an hour ago. I don't have the brain power for this right now. And then he starts talking to me about COVID and how he never wore a mask and how he would go to rallies and they would hug everyone and hold hands. And I'm like, that's great. All the power to you. But don't start coming at me. And like I was telling him, he was like, how many shots have you had? Like I'm like, oh, just the minimum that I need, and to have a job and all that stuff. And he was like, oh, well, you must be very strong having that poison in your body. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. I don't have the brain power. Are you gonna buy something or not? You know, like please just leave. And then, you know, he was nice about it. Like he wasn't rude, but like I definitely didn't have the brain power to even talk about this situation. And I don't even have the brain power now. Like it's just what it is what it is. And I'm just glad everyone is safe and it's fine. I don't care what the conspiracy theories or anything that goes on. It is what it is. And if you are safe, then you are safe. Just leave it at that. And you know, having people come into your store and then talk to you and tell you what you're wearing is a muzzle and da, 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 da. I'm like, guys, I don't have the time for it. Everyone has their opinion. I get it. I just don't want to be a part of it. You understand? So, I don't know. But guys, it is crazy. It is fun working in retail. I have a really great team. Everyone is lovely. But it is just you just get those people and you're just like, please get out. Please just get out. I don't have the time for it. But it's really fun to have story times. But if you guys have ever been in a sort of job where you have some crazy customers, or if you had to deal with customer service, anything like that, let me know if there's been ever a time where you have just always remembered and it has never left your brain of something that has happened to you at work or anywhere in the store. I remember I was walking in the city, and I don't usually go down to the city, and it's just like a really nice treat to go down. And I was walking with my boyfriend, and there was this man across the street. I guess he wasn't all there, and he looks at me, and then he looks at my boyfriend, and then he goes, "You know what that is? That's a hump it and dump it." And I was like, "What?" I was having a great day. I was enjoying the city, the lights, like the whole building. So we don't have buildings that are like more than 4 stories high down where I live. So it's nice to go in the city and see everything. And it was so beautiful. And then I just have this man call me a hump it and dump it. Like, come on. Like, I'm gonna have that as my Tinder profile, like whenever I'm ever single, which will hopefully be never. But like, oh my God. That will attract the wrong sort of attention. But girl, it is crazy. And speaking of attracting the wrong like sort of attention, girl, there are some things that I've seen in the malls where there is like people wearing some really questionable things, and I'm like, girl, if I ever wore that, I would be in the ground. My parents would not let me do that. So, oh my gosh, and it is like -30 out. So y'all are crazy. I don't care if you're wearing in the summer, but like if my parents ever caught me going outside in winter without a jacket, girl, I'd be dead. But that's for me living in Canada, right? So I've been ranting on too long, but I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this build, and I hope that you love what you see. My screen has been frozen this entire time because it is just a really big build, and it took me almost 4 hours to make, so not too long, but it's been pretty good. But I do hope you like this video, and if you do like it, maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you all later. Okay, bye guys.